this is Jen and you're watching BPD Woman. On this channel, you will learn how to more effectively live with your borderline personality disorder or your complex post-traumatic stress disorder, or you'll learn how to become more effective if you are a person that is highly sensitive or has difficulty managing your emotions. My goal is to share my insight, wisdom, experience, also relying on DBT skills to help you become more effective at your goals. I was diagnosed over 20 years ago with borderline personality disorder, and I'm certain I've lived with it for about 30 years. While I am not a psychologist or a therapist, I can answer one very important question that most of those folks cannot, which is, what is it like to live with borderline personality disorder? And while they do have the degree, they don't have the disorder. And that's important because their work and their insights and their treatments are critical. I would not be where I am today without them. However, and I recommend that you get them and you enroll in DBT. However, they can only go so far, right? They don't know what it's like to live with a disorder. Everything that they know is based in theory, but what I know is based in real world experience. And so I'd like to share that with you. If you're a family member or a spouse, or you're just someone that cares about someone with BPD, or you're more just in general interested in the subject, and you are interested in positive solution-based approaches, then you're in the right place, because that's what I like to offer. Positive solution-based approaches to recovery. So if that all sounds good to you, please do hit subscribe and the bell below so you never miss a beat. I produce anywhere from 3 to 5 videos each week, always something new. So let's get started. So I'm gonna do an emotional vlog today. We have, you've seen me do a few of these, and I've put maybe about 4 or 5 of these up. And basically the emotional vlogs is a time when I just speak to you about what's going on with my experience in a certain moment or day or situation. Because I think it's important that you see that I still have problematic feelings and difficult emotions, even though I consider myself pretty highly recovered, if you will, or see those maladaptive behaviors been replaced by positive ones. And so I think it's important that I share with you these experiences, because so many times I see these videos and, you know, people proclaim to have all the answers, or now they're the expert, and, you know, they're like, I don't have any of these problems anymore. I'm going to tell you how you can never have any of these problems anymore. And that may be true. I just don't think that's a realistic approach. So I think it's important that you see that I deal with these issues just like you do. And so I'm going to do that today. And specifically, and I'm going to try something new. I'm going to like split this into 2 different viewpoints. So I'm going to try to do something like a devil's advocate. So I'm going to explain what's going on, tell you about my situation, and then I'm going to see it from my BPD lens, and then I'm going to see it from a different lens, or what I call like the devil's advocate lens, okay? If you have BPD, you meet a certain number of criteria from the DSM-5, and among the DSM criteria 5 is chronic feelings of emptiness or loneliness, frantic efforts to avoid real or imagined abandonment, and marked disturbances in self-identity. And woo, that's a lot, right? And I would certainly say that I have definitely experienced all of those, and from time to time I still experience some of those. And I think that during this pandemic, that has been especially hard on me, and I imagine it's been especially hard on you, especially if you don't have a lot of family or support networks surrounding you. And I've talked about my family experiences before, but I do not have a support network of a family, and I'm estranged from them for good, healthy reasons. So yes, I could have a family, but I would be like really fucked up if I let them in my life, more so than I already was. So they're not around. So I really rely on my interactions with friends or clients, or sometimes therapists, to bulk up my feelings of security, or, you know, togetherness, or camaraderie. And there's a difference, right? Like, all of this is a gray area. You can have feelings of loneliness, but not be frantically trying to avoid abandonment. You can feel like you're not sure where you're going in life, but that doesn't mean that you have identity disturbance, right? Everything that I just mentioned over here, I think most people have in their life, right? Like I've met people who are 50 years old and I'm like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And they're like, I don't know, right? So, you'll find that there's a gray area that you're going to fall into. So if you're hoping one day that all of your loneliness or your, what do I want to do in life goes away, I'm here to tell you it's probably not going to. At least it hasn't for me, and I'm 41 going on 42 in April. So what's going on with me? Well, I think throughout this pandemic, just like most of us, I've had like these ups and downs of, okay, I feel okay. All right, I feel supported. Okay, things are getting a bit better. Okay, I see a light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, I see some money issues going away. And then it gets worse. And I feel like it's getting worse again. And, I do healthy things. Like I try to limit how much TV I'm watching on the news. I try to limit like how much bad news I'm letting get into my life every day. And I take care of myself. I exercise. I'm not oversleeping. I'm cleaning. I'm trying to keep up on my exercise as much as possible. And so I'm doing all of the right things, taking my medication, right? And yet I still feel really low. And I've kind of hit this dip again in how I'm feeling. So today's video essentially is I'm going to talk about being let down by others, feeling lonely, and having essentially what I call pandemic fatigue. Just like this, oh my God, I'm still locked in. Oh my God, I still can't go about my life like I want to. Oh my God, I'm still not able to, hug certain people or kiss them or, and it's really weighing on us, right? And it's not going away anytime soon. It could be here another 8, 9, 10, 12 months, right? And that's just the variants that we know about. And so I have felt really let down by some people recently. And I want to preface by saying that I don't know all of these people extremely well. I think that what I'm about to share with you insofar as my letdown comes from a sense that I am a very giving person, that I'm a really good friend, that I check in on people, that I care about people. And I used to let this go on, like this unlimited amounts of caring. I used to let this go on. And then I realized, okay, these people are not worthy of it, right? Or like I'm giving them more trust and affection and attention than they deserve, or that they haven't earned, right? Or I don't really know these people. I had someone say to me once, like, it seems that you put your trust more in people than they've earned it. And that's, I think, really true, right? So I've had a friend now that I'm going to talk about for about 1 year, and then I'm going to talk about a recently new person that I've developed some friendly feelings with, who's a neighbor, but I don't know her that well. And I'll start by saying that basically kind of these feelings that I don't really know what dissociation is. I don't know that I've ever really felt it. Like I've felt like kind of like a brain fog, but I've never felt like dissociated. Like, I don't have like lapses in my memory. I don't feel like I'm not connected to my body. I don't really know what dissociation feels like, but I don't feel like I have been disassociated. But what I do feel is, I feel like I have like this heavy, wet blanket on my shoulders, and I feel tired, and I feel unmotivated. I feel apathetic. I feel self-critical. I feel lonely. I feel sad, but I feel like too apathetic to cry. I feel exhausted from the situation. I feel fatigued. I feel like, so I just haven't been feeling really well. I've been doing the things that I need to do. I've been motivating myself, where 5-10 years ago, I'd be sitting in bed and not getting up for days. And occasionally it's okay to let that happen, but not like for extended periods of time, right? So, this is how I've been feeling. And so when I feel this way, I want to reach out to my friends more, or I'd like to, you know, go on a walk with them. You know, I don't feel like anything I ever do is too out of the top, right? Like I feel, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? I feel like I'm being appropriate. So appropriate invitations of friendship for me sound like, hey, would you like to go on a walk with me and my dog? You know, would you like to come out and sit on the balcony? You know, stuff like that, you know, outdoor stuff. You know, if it was indoor stuff, it would be like, hey, do you want to come over and watch a movie or play a board game, right? And, you know, I carry with me from childhood this feeling like I never knew how to really make friends because my parents were always arguing. They never let people, you know, other parents didn't want their kids to come over for good reason, right? Like, why would you want your kid to come over to a volatile household? So I didn't really get to make a lot of friends, and then that carried into elementary school and high school, and then I just never felt like I learned how to develop friendships. But I try now. And sorry, I think, like, you know, now that I'm speaking about this to you, I'm feeling a bit emotional. You know, sometimes when I'm feeling lonely, like there's no one to talk to, or, you know, I reach out to you guys on YouTube. So thanks for being there. But anyway, so I have this friend that I met in South Africa about a year ago now, a little bit over a year ago. So we've stayed in touch via WhatsApp and voice notes and sometimes phone calls. You know, we're friends. I wouldn't say we're like super close friends, but like we've shared a lot of intimate things with each other. And she, you know, she has a great affection for me and I have a great affection for her. And about like a month ago or so, her and her family, basically almost everyone in her family came down with COVID. This is in South Africa, and her mom was in the hospital, and so it was really touch and go. And so I was like, well, shit, like this is the time for me to step up and be a good friend, right? So I reached out. I was like, every day I was like, hey, this is my daily check-in on you. Hey, how are you doing? This is my daily check-in on you. And you know, I was okay if I didn't hear back from her that day. Like, I got it, like she was resting, right? Like she's sick, like, or she's busy, like I get it, like, you know, I understand that. And I want her to rest. And, you know, she'd be like, you know, she'd text me back a day like, oh, sorry, I was sleeping the whole day. I'm like, yes, good, I'm glad. Like, please don't feel like you have to text me when you're resting. Like, that's fine. So anyway, so I've checked on her, and her mom came home, and everyone's been doing better. And I think some of them went back to work. So things are getting better, I think. And, you know, yesterday, so we've leaned on each other. So, you know, there's an appropriate amount of leaning on each other and emotional sharing that's going on. And yesterday I was feeling kind of down, and I sent a voice note, about a 5-minute voice note over WhatsApp, basically just saying, you know, hey, I was responding to actually one of her texts, and because I've been feeling down, and I had let like 6 days go by and I hadn't gotten back to her. And I was just like, hey, you know, in this voice note, I was like, I'm not feeling really good. I feel lonely. You know, I said, I'm envious a little. I didn't say envious, but I was like, you know, it would be nice to have a family like you do. You know, I'm sure you guys have your problems, but I'm just feeling really lonely. And, you know, I don't understand, like, sometimes why I can't make some friendships work. And she listened to the voice note. And this is probably over 24, 36 hours ago I sent this now. She got the voice note. She listened to the voice note, and she hasn't replied. So that made me feel in that moment like, right? Like, man, I've been there for you. Like, I mean, you know, the tone of my voice was very much like this, kind of down, like this isn't my normal affect. And, you know, just one could clue in, I think, pretty quickly, like, okay, Jen's feeling down, you know, she's my friend. Let me get back to her, at least send her a small note, right? So we'll get to that devil's advocate part in a minute, but that's one situation. The second situation is my neighbor. So I've seen her in and out. Like, we've been next door neighbors, like on the other side of the wall here. We live in an apartment for the last 18 months, and she's lived here longer than that, but I've lived here about 18 months, 2 years. And and I have, you know, said hello, we've been friendly, and then, you know, I think since the pandemic, we've talked a little bit more, and then, you know, we would just talk about, like, some grievances, like, we don't like this place, or, you know, like, all this other stuff. And so back in early December, I caught her in the parking lot, just like, hey, I'm going out to Colorado and California for a month, you know, I'm really looking forward to it. And I was like, oh, that's awesome, that's what a great break for you. And she's gonna go, like, with her family for a while and then come back here to the East Coast. And I said, okay, no problem. You know what? Like, if I see packages out front of your door for you, I'll grab them. Like, I offered, like, she didn't ask, I just offered. And, she was, like, very appreciative. And we only kept in touch a few times over text, like, you know, a few times while she was out on the West Coast. And while we were in the parking lot that day, I said, hey, I said, when you get back, would you like to hang out? And she's like, yeah, it'd be great. I was like, awesome, right? You know, I drove away and I was like, all right, I felt good about myself. Like, okay, this is how you make it a friend appropriately. You know, you take it slow, you know, put yourself out there, you ask them if they want to come out with you, and you know, they could say yes or no. And she said yes, so good. Okay. So I didn't follow that up with 37 texts, like, when are we getting together? When are we getting together? When are we getting together? So she's been back now, I would say 3 weeks, 2 weeks. And, you know, I gave her packages, and, you know, we've been texting on and off. And so yesterday I asked her, I sent her a funny picture of my dog, and I asked her how things were going. She's like, oh, what a day. She sounded very stressed. She has 2 jobs. She's a teacher, and she has to work at a store to make money, just like I do. So, you know, we share this in common, this 2 job situation. And she said, oh, what a day. Like, I'm finishing up this job, and then I've got to run to a doctor's appointment, and then go to the other job, and then I've got to come home and work again. Ugh, LOL, how are you? And again, I wrote, you know, first I started off by addressing what she had said and validating her by saying, I'm really sorry that you're feeling this way, and it's really, I was like, ugh, this economic and COVID situation is out of control. I'm really sorry. I said, you're going to the doctor, are you okay? I said, hey, by the way, this weekend, would you like to come out with me and the dog to go for a walk? And then I answered her question back to me, and I said, well, I said, honestly, I've been feeling a little sad and fatigued, and it kind of comes in waves, but I guess I'm doing okay. But, you know, I mean, if somebody sent me that text, and again, I know I'm a sensitive person, but if somebody sent me that text, I'd be like, well, shit, man, do you need to talk? And in fact, I'll tell you about 1/3 friend, very briefly before we move on to the devil's advocate part. And when I said this to him, I was like, well, honestly, I've been feeling a bit down and sad. He said, would you like to talk, you know? And I said, not on the phone, but like we shared some cute, funny back and forth text messages. And after these text messages, like, I felt good. I felt connected. Now, keep in mind, I think he's a little keen on me, and I kind of asked me out once-ish. I'm not really sure, but pretty sure. So his interest in seeing how I'm doing may be motivated underneath by wanting to date me. I don't know. Okay, so in these 2 situations with these 2 girlfriends, I have felt I haven't heard anything from either of them in about 24 to 36 hours. It's made me feel lonely, disconnected. I've not let myself go to this place of, oh, it's my fault, I'm shitty, blah, blah, blah. I haven't gone that way. But it's made me feel sad. And I have not said to myself, okay, I'm a piece of shit. I must have done something wrong. I'm weird or something. I'm strange. You know, I didn't say that. Instead, you know, I just said, Jen, you're a really good person, and you haven't done anything weird here. You haven't done anything wrong. You know, your clients tell you all the time how much they like you. You know, people tell you how good you are, and how not good, but you know, how giving you are. And so it just made me feel like I've been giving out to the world, and I haven't been giving back as much as I'd like. So now let's take a break here, and we're gonna play devil's advocate on each of these situations, and I'm gonna view it through my BPD lens, and I'm gonna view it from a non-BPD lens. Okay, let's go. Okay, so let's look at this situation from what my BPD lens wants to say. So my BPD lens wants to be like, send a text back like, oh, I'm there for you, but you can't be there for me. What the fuck? Hello, did you get my text message? Why are you being so rude? Oh, I see. I can hold your packages for you, and I can be there for you when you have COVID and send you like funny memes, at least to kind of virtually support you while I'm 10,000 miles away, but you can't respond to me. Okay. Got it. Okay. Have you just been using me? Okay. So in these moments, I want to retaliate, or I want to retort, or I want to let them know like how much I feel let down. My devil's advocate says, you don't have all the information. It's difficult. Jen, you're going to have to sit and wait. It sucks. You don't know why they're not answering you. You don't know what's going on. You don't know if your friend in South Africa's situation has had a turn for the worse. You don't know if her mother passed away. You don't know why she's not answering, except that she's listened to the message, but she hasn't answered. That's the only information you have right now. You don't have enough information to make this call, even though that's where your feelings want to drag you. And for my friend next door, the devil's advocate could say she's really busy. Like she said, she had to finish work, go to doctor's appointment, go to other work, come back home, finish up work. She was probably up really late. She probably got up really early again to virtually teach. She teaches like 5th graders or something. So she hasn't had time. So what have I done in each of these situations? Well, again, I've tried to stop myself from going down rabbit holes or emotional Ferris wheels by distracting myself and watching something else, or just sticking to my regular schedule. That means like I go out and I deliver the food, like I do a third party gig app, and I deliver food. And so, you know, go out, make your money like you're supposed to, like don't sit at home, like stay on schedule. Like these are the things I'm doing to try to keep myself elevated. You know, stick to your routine, keep at it, like don't let yourself get apathetic as much as possible. And in that time, you're going to have to sit and wait to see how these friends play out, which means for me, okay, this morning I said hello to my friend next door. I said, hey, how are you? I was like, by the way, did you get my text yesterday? That's all I said. I haven't replied out to my friend in South Africa because I imagine, you know, she's got 2 kids, and the mom is living with her right now. So it's like, okay, well, I'll see how that plays out, right? Like I'll wait a few days. I'll see what happens. It's going to be difficult. It sucks, I know, to sit and wait to see how it plays out, and to sit on that bottled emotion of I want to lash out. Like I want, like, what the fuck? I want to cut these people off. I want this uncomfortable feeling to end as quickly as possible. You got to sit and wait it out. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. So what am I going to do in the process? Well, I'm not going to do anything that would make me feel bad about my interaction. So I'm not going to swear. I'm not going to name call. I'm not going to accuse. I'm not going to cut off. I'm not going to block. You know, I found a new feature on your phone. If you're, it's not a new feature, but if you are anxious about text messages, or you don't want to go out and immediately block someone, you know, there is this silent button. You can mute conversations so that you don't get a notification to your phone. It'll show up in the display pad, but you won't get an alert that so-and-so texted you. So if you have an iPhone, you just swipe left and you'll see the little bell, and you can put a silence mark on the bell, and then you won't see the text pop up. That way you're not obsessively looking at your phone. And I'm going to go out about my business, and I'm going to keep doing things that make me feel good about who I am. If I were to lash out, if I were to accuse or name call, then I would be going down a place where I'm not going to feel good about myself, and that's going to keep me weighed down. If you're feeling depressed like I am, like I don't think I'm feeling sad right now, I think I'm like kind of like in this depressive lull, my advice is, if you have a therapist, you know, keep talking to your therapist. If you're on medication, keep doing your medication. Go out, get as much sunshine as you can, go on walks, exercise, stick to your schedules, watch something funny. If you're feeling sad, don't watch that serial killer murder mystery right now. You know, watch a comedy special, add some levity, pet your dog. It's okay to cry. I mean, definitely, of course it's okay to cry, but definitely take care of yourself. And in sharing this emotional vlog today, I hope that you've been able to take something away, and I would love to hear your comments in the below, or your feedback, or how you've been doing in the pandemic. It would help me, obviously, to know what your experiences are like right now, and I think it would help other people's as well. So thanks very much for tuning in. My name is Jen. You've been watching BPD Woman. Please consider like, sharing, or subscribing, and I will talk to you soon.